everybody. My name is Mario. I'm known as Mario-TheRevoDrivers out of Texas. To be exact, Houston and South Houston. Around the Galveston area is my main driving area. I've been with the company with Revo for now. Actually, this month is going to be my 5th month. I was thinking it was my 4th, but I've actually been here 5 months now. I started in July, and on July 12th, so as of yesterday, I accomplished 5 months here. And in 5 months, I've managed to grow my community, which a lot of the fellas here this afternoon is here, but I believe that everybody is my community, and everybody that's part of the company is part of the team. I'm a very, very strong team builder, a team player. I started many years ago up in the mountains of Virginia in a small town. Well, it's not so small, but it's a town called Lynchburg, Virginia, between Lynchburg and Virginia. What we used to do is we used to sit in these public garages and wait for pings. I was excited the first day that I started as a rideshare driver. I remember very clearly having a second phone and having my wife in the car, and I said, we're going to do some rides here so we can learn how to operate the app, and understand more of the app, because I didn't know anything about how to operate the app, how to ask for a ride, and I was so nervous. I remember many instances that I just, was completely green and did not even understand what to do. Most of the time, I just kind of winged it and got through the evening as a driver. But I remember that, I used to go out there and start meeting drivers, and, I decided we started becoming friends. We started kind of making our own little team, and we called ourselves We Drive For You. And the exciting part about that was we downloaded an app that we used as a communicator between each other. Like the old days, we had CBs in our cars back way back. I don't know how many of you guys remember the old CBs. And we communicated between each other, and we started going after these different events, different wedding venues, different party venues around Lynchburg and Charlottesville. And then we started hanging out at the airports and learning little by little more and more how to become a driver. I remember very, very clearly when I started with Lyft and Uber in the early days, the apps would take us miles away to pick people up. And when we got to those locations, we actually were completely lost. We couldn't find the passengers. It was very difficult. The GPS would barely work. And if some of you guys, 8+ or 5+ year drivers, you understand where I'm coming from. And today, drivers are used to turning on the app, and it pretty much does everything for you. It takes you where you need to be. It just, naturally does everything for you. So when you have a new company come up that's building from the ground up, you're going to experience a lot of glitches and a lot of different lost situations, kind of sort of like what Uber and Lyft was back in the early years. And a lot of drivers don't understand quite powerful this new concept, and how this is growing is going to actually benefit you as a driver if you have an open mind as far as community growing and starting your business. As a Revo driver, you are an IBO. An IBO means independent business owner. So basically, you are your own boss. You are your own business. You are the one that's starting your business in this rideshare application in your area. So you got to go out there and you got to shake hands with the drivers or the riders that might be out there working the other rideshare companies. And one of the things that I usually do is in the mornings, I get up early in the morning and I'll set my apps to the lowest size, which, in rideshare industry, you have several sizes. I think Uber has many sizes of vehicles that starts from the X, the X Share, the X Pet, XL, then you got luxury, then you got black, and then on up you go with different other services and sizes. In Revo, you have 3 of them, which is the 3 sizes, executive, luxury, and then you have the SUVs, which are the bigger vehicles, bigger vans in this case as well, that's something that's the difference between us and the other guys is if you have a van or if you have a minivan, you can actually be on board with Revo and start your business doing shuttle service from hotels to airports or from hotels to different parts of any kind of vacation spot that might be out there available in your areas, Six Flags, games, or what have you. One of the things that in Virginia in the early days was I went out there and I talked to a lot of the Airbnbs, or bed and breakfast. Airbnb came out a little bit later. And then later on, I started getting with Airbnb owners and putting out my cards, my deck of cards. I had a big deck of cards. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but you can see here. Here it says, "We drive for you." And then the different vehicles that we had. And then we put these, and this is one of these old decks that I used to put into the different Airbnbs, bed and breakfasts, and hotels. I went out there and did a lot of cards that had both sides with my QR code or my website that would have a landing site where people could go there and kind of see what we're all about, the different vehicles, the different drivers that we had on the team. And little by little, we started growing and getting more recognition with events and stuff. And that is something that I'm using as my tool for my growth here in Texas, and I'm getting with drivers in other cities to do the same thing. And this is another example too. And recently Paul was coming out with an idea that he could have a cash, you have a ride. We did this quite often in events such as Lock-In Festival in Virginia and Charlottesville. It's a 5-day lock-in rock and roll festival that people go to, and they stay there. And they stay in hotels nearby. So every day they go out there and they do their partying, and every night they go back to their hotels. And one of the things that we noticed was there wasn't enough time for us to use the app for people and stuff. So we would use our own apps between our team members that were present, and we would switch the extra phones and use their apps to do the rides. And then we would charge X amount of dollars to do the ride, and we would make extra money. I think recently Nicole's team in San Antonio did a downtown event, or somewhere in San Antonio, an event, and they had a little bit of a hiccup because they didn't quite understand exactly how it operated and how I did it. So I have two telephones. One telephone, I have a business account, a rider business account. And on the other phone, my main phone, I have my driver account. And what I do is, or I did, was I sent myself a link to my other phone. And then I grabbed that link, that referral link, and I went there and I registered under the business name, and then I downloaded the Rider app onto my second phone. So now I don't have to bother anybody. I can go easily to my other second phone and do the reservation. With my main phone, I can go ahead and pick the client up using that business account. I had a small discussion with Neil the other day. How can we make this work as a business? Well, if you're going out there to pick up a business person, or you're doing business with somebody and it's your own business, you're in your own independent business, then I don't see any problem that you can't make that as a business write-off, or use it as, somehow to where it's a tax advantage to you. So that way you can use that as your marketing thing, because what you're doing is you're actually having a person in your car, you're demonstrating how the app works to the person, so that way in the amount of time that you're giving them the ride, you've already showed them how to use the app. So in my view, you've accomplished a couple of things. A, you've shown the client how to use the app. You've shown them that the app actually works and exists. And also, if it's an event, you haven't wasted too much of the client's time to incarcerate them in your car while they download the app. They can go ahead and download the app while they're on their way, or they've already experienced the ride and the Revo ride, and then in the time frame that you've taken them home, you've gotten their information and you've sold them on the Revo app as a rider. So you've accomplished a couple of things there. You did the ride, you made money on the ride, you did your marketing all in one ride. And imagine if you're in some kind of an event that has a lot of people there, then you're accomplishing what you need to do. One of the other drivers contacted me and messaged me and said, hey, get on Facebook real quick. There's a lady out there that's trying to get from the east side of Galveston to downtown, and she's got a dog and she needs to get that service. So what I did was immediately I jumped on the Facebook. I pulled over and I jumped on Facebook and I said, contact me. I'm a local driver and I'm pet friendly. Within about 5 to 10 minutes, she contacted me. She thanked me very much for reaching back out. And she said, could you come and get me? And then she texted me and she said, can you do a cash ride? And I'm the kind of person that I'm very competitive. I can do cash rides left and right all day long, but the one thing about in small towns or any towns is that if you're caught doing that, then you're in trouble. But if you do it on an app and you do it as a ride share, you're not breaking any rules. So I instantly told her, well, I can take a cash ride, but we still need to do it on the app, and I'll explain it to you when I get there. So when I got there, I said, look, I got the app on another phone. I can go ahead and initiate the ride and take you downtown, and it's going to be about $10. She was willing to pay me $10 anyway. It was a quick ride. The key point here is I got the person in the ride. I got them totally interested. I handed them one of my business cards, and on the back of my business card, I have a big QR code. And while I was on the way there, the dog was laid, really good dog, and she had a chance to scan the code, registered. And what did I do? I didn't only make the $10 cash ride. I made an extra ride under my belt in the Revo app, which is the key point here. I'm going to make now with the new comp plan, I'm going to be making well over 70% of the ride. So I'm still very happy about it. I'm giving Revo some business, and my numbers keep going up and up and up and up. And my success is there. And I just picked up another local client who immediately went into Facebook after I took her downtown, and then about 2 hours later, she contacted me to come and pick her up, and I took her home on the Revo app. So I got 2 rides for one evening. Not a big deal, but it is a big deal because it's $20 extra that I wouldn't have made because I would have been out there doing the other ride shares instead of doing this little extra work. Yes, it does take extra work to do these rides. It does take a little extra work to build this business, but I'm building it for me. I'm building it for my area, for my team, and for my drivers, not only here in Galveston, but Dallas. Neil and I have worked between Dallas and Houston, and I'm going to be working with many other areas. I also picked up some business for Phoenix and definitely Atlanta and many other areas because, the passengers that are coming into my car, I'm constantly talking to them about the different services that we can offer, the VIP service that we have, the white glove service. And another thing that happened yesterday, which I thought was really nice and I wanted to share with you, was I picked up a senior citizen. I had picked her up before on Lyft and given her a ride to Walmart, and she asked me, she says, would you be so kind enough to give me your phone number and I can call you so you can come back and pick me up when I'm back. Now, the lady looked really, really healthy lady. She didn't look at all her age. Today, she told me how old she was. She's 95 years old. And she showed me her phone because I was going to download the Revo app and install it. And she had a Captain Kirk style Star Trek phone. And I had no idea how to install Revo app on that phone. So I told her, I said, just give me a call anytime and I'll come and pick you up and we'll run it on my app and you can pay me by check. And, she still works with checks and stuff like that. And she was a real darling. And the thing is that I helped her carry her bags over to her porch and I did a little extra and I got compensated. She gave me a $30 tip and I made money. I didn't want to take the $30 because maybe $5 would have kept me nice and happy. But the part about giving her that extra white glove service really helped out. Another one of my ideas, Revo, and as my team grows more and more, many years ago, I worked for a company called Uzurv, U-Z-U-R-V, Uzurv. And Uzurv was out of the Richmond area, Richmond, Virginia. And what they did was they trained us to do a white glove service. They gave us CPR training, some hands-on training on how to take care of elderly, not handicapped, but elderly people that might need a little extra hand to get inside of the vehicle and give them a little extra treatment. And when I took care of this lady yesterday, her name is Geneva. And when I took care of Geneva yesterday, it reminded me about how I got that training to help somebody just a little bit extra and get paid for it. And Uzurv was very, very good about that. And one of the things that I thought about when I joined Revo was what an excellent opportunity to get out there and reach out to some of these nursing homes and these doctors' offices and say, hey, here's an extra option here that you can offer some of your clients that are coming to see you. I've gone many, many times to doctors' offices and those blood transfusion places, I'm not sure what they're called, and many other places to pick up people that Lyft sends you on. And I know for a fact Lyft charges a lot of money for those services and doesn't pay us as drivers, not even a half of what they make extra on those kind of services. So imagine if we had those services and we implemented that kind of service in the future with Revo and we make extra money. What I'm saying here is that you have to have that kind of mindset that you can see into the future and you can grow your business in the future. And that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at it in the long run, what I'm going to get out of it, how I'm going to start making money. One day, very, very shortly, I'm going to be just kicking back and visiting different cities and coming to the different towns that you guys are in and visiting you guys and doing greet and meets. And I won't no longer have to drive out there and make money. I'll be making money while I'm sleeping from growing my teams and growing the community more and more. And I'm one of the people that can say I'm living proof that with partners like Neil and Claylan and Danny and Stephen Parnell and Nicole and RJ and many of you guys that are captains out there, we can grow one heck of a team in every one of these cities and make money left and right just on commissions in the near future. The meaning of Revo and what Revo is offering each and every one of you drivers is the opportunity to get out there and do a business that works for you. One of the other things I want to show you today, and a lot of people don't know how to do this really, is to go in there and go to the app. And I'm going to share my screen here real quick with my phone and show you how to add your favorite driver. I think it comes from in here and also from here to you is that the more you practice with the app, the more you understand the app, including the Rider app, the more you're going to be efficient in teaching your drivers or your riders. Your riders are the most important one. A lot of people tell me, Mario, I don't want to recruit anybody. But you're just missing out on a heck of an opportunity when there's a customer there that likes your service, that likes your car, that likes and feels comfortable inside of your vehicle, that you can't just hand them a business card and say, look, I'd love for you to be a part of Revo. And if you'd like me to get somebody to explain to you how Revo is, you may be from another country, you may speak another language. You got people like me, like Neil, like many of these team captains around here that will go out of their way to help you understand the business a little bit more. Because if I help a person, a writer, understand this, they're also going to bring in other people and say, you know what? I had a really good experience with Revo, with a Revo driver, and I got his card and I joined Revo, and I think you should do the same thing. And they're going to understand that they're going to be receiving not only the commission of 3% per ride, whether it's a driver or a rider, they're also going to be getting a reward in the crypto area. And you can, you know, I mean, some of you guys may not want to understand the crypto very well, but I don't know if some of you guys have even looked at Bitcoin today. It was at 90,000. You know, that's crazy. So I believe that because of today and what's going on with the government and all of that, I think that we're going to be turning over a new leaf as far as crypto is concerned. So if you've never experienced being part of the crypto area, I truly, and I'll tell you this from my experience, I've taught people how to create their wallets. I've taught people how to transfer crypto. I've taught people the crypto, arena quite a bit for several years. And I will say this, once you start understanding crypto, it doesn't matter how old you are, it's an amazing technology that will just open your eyes. And just being part of Revo and the Connect world, you can connect your clients, you can connect your drivers to understand a little bit. There's a lot of education in there. And we'll be going over some of those trainings little by little as well. I don't want to get into crypto today, but I just want to say, you're not only going to make commissions, you're also going to make some reward in the form of a token called Rev. And once our company, the company that we represent, that we're working with, Revo, gets to a point, you're going to go gaga how that token is going to increase in value. You're pioneers. We're all pioneers in here. Every one of us in here are pioneers in a whole new generation of rideshare. We're the old veterans from the old days, but we're opening up the new ways right now, and I think it's going to be excellent for everybody to participate with and understand it. You understand how to grow your community where you live, right around where you live. Make your living room the middle of your area and grow your community. Go after those people that are going to work every morning. They got to come home every evening. They're paying Uber and Lyft and other rideshare companies or taxis an arm and a leg to get back and forth. They're going to love having our service, and eventually you can hand that off to a driver in your area once you get your second driver, your third driver, your fourth driver in that neighborhood. And then eventually you're going to have a full deck of reservations for one or two drivers. And then you're going to see those commissions coming in. And I tell you, I can share it with you, how many commissions I get on a daily basis. It's no less than 5 to 10 commissions per day right now is what's coming in. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. It's 30 cents here. It's 40 cents there. Wait until those start doing $100 rides or $200 rides like in Nevada. That is going to get some crazy numbers in there. And then you're going to see those kind of numbers land into your commission box. And you're going to say, you know what? Maybe I gave up a little bit early. Don't give up. Just hang in there. Get through these little glitches that we have. Yes, you got to shut down and open the app 1 or 2 times throughout the day, but make sure that you're signed in so you can get those notifications. Yes, the notifications are silent right now in some areas. You don't really see them, but now, I don't know if you've noticed them, but I have. When there's a reservation, it gets repeated a couple of times until it's answered, so, but we're working on that, we're going to work on it to where more and more the area is expanded, and it's going to be more and more notifications received by more drivers as we grow these areas. So if you have, and you work in an area, make sure you keep all of that in mind, is that, we're getting there. We're crawling right now. We're baby steps right now. And eventually we're going to be sprinting. I brought Galveston in 4 months. And it's one of the top cities in the company that's rolling with reservations. And how am I doing it? I'm doing it exactly how I told you. I'm getting out there. I'm not being afraid to talk to people. I have my car, and I wanted to share that with you as well. Let's see if I can share my screen here to give you guys some ideas on what I do. wanted to show you just a clip of that idea. And what that idea was all about was create a disturbance in an area and draw attention to yourself. My car, okay, is pretty cool. I have my wrap. Let me open this up so I can show you. And you can see that it's very, very flash. I decided to just do the back windows, the back part. So that way, wherever I'm parked, wherever I'm driving, whoever's coming into my car sees the dress code of Revo, sees the dress code of the other companies that I'm currently working with. And then when you come into my car, you're basically seeing my headrests. You're seeing me in a restaurant. You see what I'm wearing, very flashy. The idea is to be seen and remembered. Hey, I call myself Mario the Revo Driver. I drive the Revo car. I work with Revo. Eventually, that name will start getting out. It doesn't matter whatever I do, wherever I go, or even here in this Zoom, you can see that my background is Revo. The other thing that I strongly talk to people about is other drivers. This guy, his name is Travis. He's 87 years old. He's one of my members. He has the Revo rideshare decal on his windows. He has a shirt that I've given him. So I give my drivers a shirt and their decals when they come on board with me, and they, obviously they're with me for a while. And that way I've accomplished a couple of things. Getting the word Revo out there. People are seeing the word Revo, and they're coming together on the idea that, hey, Revo's in town. The other thing that I do quite a bit is I'll go sit in restaurants and I'll wait until drivers come in for deliveries, and I pick them off one by one. When they come in, I observe their vehicles, I observe how they are, and I'll sit there and recruit them, because we are going to eventually be doing deliveries, and we can do deliveries now. I mean, instead of carrying a human being, we can carry a package and still be making money left and right. You can talk, I've talked to contractors, I've talked to hardware stores, flower shops. Heck, I got a buddy of mine that has frozen meats, exotic meats, and he uses me to deliver the meats all the time to the different customers in the neighborhoods. So we do it as a ride. And again, we getting the rides in, we getting the numbers in, we're growing. The people are starting to understand what we're doing out there, and it's working very, very well. So basically, it's just putting yourself out there. Get yourself a t-shirt. I do. I got 5 t-shirts. I wear 1 shirt a day. I get out there. I have the other ride shares. I got my QR code. My back has the big delivery emblem. I would recommend you buy the decals in our store, the Revo store. And they come in a couple of different sizes. It's up to you. If you need them bigger, you can get with me on it, and can get you some bigger decals done up with the company that I deal with here in Galveston. It's just a matter of getting out there and getting it done and not being shy about it. We've gone almost an hour here, and I don't want to bore you guys. I can talk here for long periods of time, but just remember, you are an IBO, an independent business owner. You're doing business as yourself, and you're using the Revo app to conduct that business. Get out there and grow your business, man. And right now, with all of the stuff that's going on with the cutting of drivers' pay, so Revo's going to be a little bit different. It's very, very similar to Uber and Lyft and all of the other apps out there, reservation apps and rideshare apps, but it has that twist, that little difference on there, where it's just giving you the opportunity to grow your business. I'm here. I'm around. I'm a team captain. I'm a city lead driver. I'm here to represent this company and grow the teams. It doesn't matter if you're part of my team or not. I welcome everybody to every Wednesday between these hours to come here and listen to me and my experiences, and hopefully that'll help other people get some ideas and grow their businesses and your teams. Success is right there. It's handed to you. I actually can unmute everybody. You can unmute at will. You can ask a question. And remember, just kind of stay within what we talked about today. And if if anybody has any ideas or what you're doing. Hey, one thing I'd love to hear from you guys is if you had the opportunity to be an owner of an app like Revo, what would you do? Start your business and get it going. Give some ideas. Because again, this is a recorded session. Nicole says, "This is great, Mario. Thank you for heading this up and the basics to make sure drivers know." Yeah, exactly. And in the next few trainings, I'll also show you the app itself, how it works. Once we get more people, anybody going once, going twice? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop recording now. So, hey guys, thank you very much for joining us on this recorded training, Revo-Drivers Training. Make sure you're here once a week and get the scoop, the tips and tricks of how to be a successful Revo driver. Once again, this is Mario, the Revo driver from Galveston, Texas. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe to my channel. Appreciate you watching. Take care.